So hi, thanks for watching my video. I'm in Sydney today at CBA and I'm with Andy Lark. Hi Andy.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great, and you?
Good. Yeah, great.
Congratulations for the launch of Cba Cashing.
Yeah, it's really exciting, and I'm really sorry the French didn't win the Rugby World Cup.
Well, I finished with Michael.
But I'm relieved and very happy they did it.
With your colleague I did it at the end, but we'll do it there. Okay, let's do it. Let's deal with it. I think we played very well. I think New Zealand was probably a bit better than us on the day, and they totally deserve it. So yeah, I love the fans as well.
Oh yeah,
I think
it was
great.
incredible. The best thing about the French and the Kiwis coming together is they are two of the world's best fans.
Yes.
Groups of fans coming together, and it's just a big party and a lot of fun. And it was interesting. You could feel the tension in the stadium. I was in the stadium, and you know, it's not often you feel that both fan bases in that stadium are just scared to death of what could happen next.
Was it silent at point?
There were points of that game where it was complete silence.
Wow.
Complete silence, yeah.
It was
terrifying.
Same when you were at the pub.
Rugby's become far too stressful. I've had to come back to work at the bank.
But anyway, congratulations, awesome, yeah. So Cba Cashing, sorry, let's talk about mobile banking and mobile payments as well. You just launched a market-defining mobile app, so-called Kaching, mainly on iPhone today and tomorrow on Android.
Yeah.
Could you please talk us through that?
Yeah, sure. Well, what we did there was, you know, if you think about customers today, particularly customers down here, you've got about 60-something% upward smartphone penetration. You've got 20+ million people living in Australia, more than half of them living in Facebook at least once a week. So you've got huge social activation. And the reality is it's not so much that, it's really not about mobile banking anymore. It used to be. It's not really about social banking. It's just about banking. Banking is going to happen on the couch while they're watching their favorite TV show.
It's about convenience.
About convenience. Really what it comes down, I mean, I'm going to grossly simplify the customer base for a second because it's helpful to do so. There are really two classes of customer in the world today. There are those people who manage how much money they have. Those people are using a broad spectrum of online and financial products from us. You know, we run the largest online trading house in the country, ComSec. They're using CommBank daily to get insights and information on their iPads. They're using NetBank for their banking. They're doing a whole range of complex things. That's not the majority of the market. The majority of the market is managing how little money they have. They're worried about running out.
Indeed.
And that's a reality for many people. Many people don't manage their money. They manage how little they've got. They want to know their balance. Did their pay go in? Did their transaction go in? And so for us, we started looking at that group and said, wow, it's not good for that group where we hold their paycheck for 4 days to process it, or it takes 6 days for a payment to be pending. Because at that point, they're not in control of their money. And these are people who are desperate to be in control of their money. So we really started with the core banking platform, invested billions in getting that right so that you would have real-time transactions. So you imagine you're running a small cake shop or a small coffee shop. You're waiting a week or more sometimes for credit card payments to process. Well, you can't then enable NFC and all those other cool things to happen in real time if they still have to wait 6 days to get their money. But if suddenly you say, hey, you can now get your money in real time, and people need to be able to bank in real time using, tap and go kind of payments, that changes the entire business and banking landscape forever. And so it's so much more profound than just mobile banking. It's really about changing the way money flows and answering the need of the mass market that is sitting there going, I am just worried about when my next paycheck's going to go in.
That's a good point, actually.
And get those people to sleep easier at night, put them in control of their money so they can start planning and allocating money better, reducing the friction with which they have to send money and transfer money. All of that gets fixed by this. It's very, very exciting.
No, I think it's great. You mentioned your big project, which was to be able to implement the underlying infrastructure architecture to make it happen in real time. I was really impressed, actually, during the presentation. You single view of the customer as well in terms of accounts.
Yeah.
I used to work at a very big UK bank, and we're still dreaming of it today. So I love seeing that, not only from a personal banking point of view, but a small business user as well. I think that's fantastic.
You can imagine once everything's digital, and all those accounts are digitized, you suddenly start thinking about banking products really differently. You start thinking about things like, well, you could have 10 credit cards. They're all digital, they all live in an electronic wallet, and you may use different ones for different purposes with different benefits.
Yep.
You may choose to allocate your points, your reward systems differently. You're able to really address customers on a far more individual level because your applications are not being built on an account by account basis. That's a really exciting thing.
No, it is, yeah. Sorry. Talking about the application, and we're talking about using data better, presenting the data better, using that data better, facilitating and removing friction. So before talking about the application itself, PFM, personal financial management, is one word that we've all talking about for 4 years now. A few banks are hurrying up and trying to release some basic functionalities. It's not included, I believe, in your net bank and your mobile app.
We're doing a lot of work in that area. But I'll be honest with you and telling you
Please
that
be honest.
we're asking some big questions about it, because the more we look at the actual data, and the more we look at what people want to do with their bank online, the vast majority of people want to do very rudimentary things. They want to know what their balance is. They want to know, did the last transaction go in? This notion that we've had for many years that people are going to spend their Saturday afternoon categorizing their payments or looking at a pie chart that says you spent this much on petrol, you spent this much on groceries, you spent this much on milk, you spent this much at the dentist. Look, as much as financial geeks like you and I may go, wow, that's cool, I want to know that and I want to see that graph and isn't that neat? The average user out there could care less. They don't want that. And so increasingly what we're asking is, how do we really simplify the online banking experience for the customer? And if that means saying, if you want those features, you go use Xero or MYOB or Quicken. We really like the look of things like a Xero or an MYOB or whatever. And we say, what we want to do is use CommBank Connect. With one button, you turn on all that functionality built over there.
Yep.
And those people are world-class at building that personal financial management platform. Everybody else wants to manage by goals, not by what historically happened, but how they achieve their goals in the future. They want to be able to create virtual savings pools online. They want to do a lot of things like that.
Will you provide that?
And we think that's the untapped opportunity.
Exactly. Online goal-based savings.
We're almost reducing the rigidity of the current banking experience and making it inherently social. So an example of this is the kind of thing we're going to enable is if you said, hey, I'd like to create a savings goal for, we're all going to save up because in 4 years' time we all want to go to the Rugby World Cup. So, you and I are going to have a joint savings goal of saving, $5,000 for the Rugby World Cup in 4 years' time. Then I publish that to our Facebook page.
Yep.
I virtually allocate money from my savings account to it, so that the next time it's 4 a.m. in the morning, I'm at the ATM and I'm taking out another $100 to go party with friends. It comes up and it says, you've now exhausted your savings account and are drawing down your goal accounts. And I'm like, well, I don't know if I want that $100 because now the Rugby World Cup is a little bit further away. Maybe I'll go home. It's that kind of thinking,
Indeed.
I think, that we're driving towards a lot more than the more traditional thinking of, hey, let's build a really good personal financial manager.
No.
And people want it, we'll deliver it. But for those that really want it on steroids, we're going to enable one-click provisioning of all those great companies like Xero out there who do that for a living.
Yeah. You work with them a bit at some point, or?
Yeah. I mean, we're integrated with Xero, MYOB, Quicken, all the gang out there. It's pretty simple to do. But we think there's opportunities to do more in that space, more in the integration space, and give customers more choice around picking the right product for their needs. This idea that the bank has to be the exclusive application provider, it's not the future.
So that's a good point. When you talk about mobile, you don't do that per se to make money. You don't do that, I believe, based on the presentation, to change to totally change and revolutionize the ecosystem of players there. You do that to increase, to change perception of the bank, to make it easier and convenient for your clients, and of course to drive business at the back of it. People's perception is like, wow, I'm satisfied, it's working very well, it's convenient, so I'm going to work with CBA. Is it correct?
Yeah. I mean, look, at the end of the day, we're the biggest bank in Australia. We're the 7th, 8th largest bank in the world. We're a really big bank. And we are so well known in this market, we don't even have to put the word Commonwealth Bank after our logo. just put that yellow logo up on the wall, people know that's the Commonwealth Bank. So there's huge identification with our brand and who we are. Awareness is not an issue for us. What really has redefined CBA, and it's one of the reasons I came here, is the passion for customer service and the customer experience. And I spend about 25 to 30% of my time in the field with customers, in branches, out with mobile bankers, out with mobile mortgage brokers, and listening to foreign exchange brokers or stock traders, you know, sitting next to people using the online platform. And you see what these people do, and you just go, there's so much opportunity for us to deliver a better and better experience for them. The second thing we look at is that fundamentally the kind of way society is functioning in relation to devices and their trusted relationships is changing. So to give you an example, we looked at some data the other day on NetBank logins during the last royal wedding. Right? So what happens? You see, what happens during a royal wedding? What happened was more people than we saw in our average login patterns were sitting in front of their TV watching the royal wedding and went, wow, I'll go check my bank balance, or I will send someone some money, or I'll check that the bills went in. And banking has become, rather than it being a dedicated activity, so in other words, I'm going to go to my branch and do my banking. It's become a companion activity to other events going on. Those 2 minutes you're at the coffee shop waiting for your friend, you log in and you do something. So this notion that the trusted relationship with the bank, the nature of the engagement has changed around that trusted relationship from one which is dedicated, you know, oh, it's 10 o'clock, I must go to the bank branch and stand in line and do my banking, to one which is a companion or intercepted activity during the day. That's an enormous change for the industry that we want to support and we want to drive and we want to be right at the forefront of, because it affords you all kinds of interesting opportunities that you never had before.
No, I think it's all about getting access to the data, understanding your customers, being at the right time, offering the right product at the right time. I used to manage sales, online sales for that bank in the UK, and most of what our sales were coming from online banking, of course, because we know more about our clients, secure area, the sales cycles and processes are shorter. That has an impact now that the customer experience has changed, that now people are using for mobile. How do you deal with that, actually, the online sales element, which is one element again?
That is probably our single biggest opportunity, the notion of digital merchandising and creating a socially enabled financial superstore online where people can use the social graph and content to purchase and make smart decisions about products. It's not going to be enough for us to just migrate the current online experience towards a better online selling experience. It's going to have to be fully enabled with, you know, ratings and reviews, rich content, third-party content, online chat, online video we're testing, so integrated online video in the site, so that, you know, as you get to that final stage of approval, you click to video and you can have a conversation with the mortgage broker wherever they are. That kind of thing, I think the degree of opportunity there is incredible for us.
So social by design, right, and leading, that's an interesting concept. And you're Mr. Social, you've got such a deep expertise in social media and extensive one at Dell, one of the leading in that sector. Talking about that, actually, what do you think about Groupon?